If there's one thing you can always count on, it's Roland Martin getting duped. Even news items that Rashad Richey sniffs and avoids will reel Roland in. Remember, this guy is the one that even got taken in by Tiffany Henyard's ass and eyelashes. Well, count Ian Roberts as another wool puller over of Roland's. When Roland first heard the news about ICE nabbing that superintendent of Des Moines Public Schools, he went all in on the outrage. Worse, his machine gun of propaganda even blasted 3 unwitting bystanders that you see here. So, file this video under Aged Like Sun-dried Cottage Cheese. Hello out there. I am trying to get through.
With his powerful brainwaves cradled in the warmth of reasoning, it's time for Johnny Walker Dread to straighten you out on a thing or two. Emanating all the way from exciting Las Vegas, Oklahoma, it's the Johnny Walker Dread Show.
Here we go.
They've now arrested the superintendent of schools in Des Moines, Iowa. In a message to families, the school board chair, Jackie Norris, confirmed that Superintendent Ian Roberts was taken into custody this morning. District officials say they have no additional confirmed details about his detention or what the next steps may be. ICE, with the assistance of the Iowa State Patrol, says Roberts was found with a loaded handgun, $3,000 in cash, and a fixed-blade hunting knife. The agency claims Roberts has been living in the United States illegally from Guyana. He was under a final order of removal issued in May 2024 and had no work authorization. He formerly was a principal in Maryland, has worked in education for a number of years. And to the point there, to Michael's point, Drew, they talked about, releasing, going after hardened criminals. The superintendent of schools, I don't think qualifies for that category.
It does if the superintendent of schools is a hardened criminal.
Listen, it's just like Michael said, the people who voted for this man that's occupying the White House, whether they try to admit to it or not, they voted for this.
I voted for this. I'm not even a fan of Trump or ICE, but bagging an illegal alien who stole a $300,000 a year job from more honest American competitors is my kind of ICE action. In fact, I was kind of down on ICE raids until I heard this news. Bravo! Bravo!
We know that he's a liar. We know that he's racist. We know who's leading the charge, which is Stephen Miller, who is his puppeteer. We recognize that this is exactly what they want to do. He played into, I guess you would say, the fears of those that are criminals.
Is she talking about Biden? Because it was Biden who labeled the dude a fugitive from justice. It was Biden who ordered his lying ass to be hauled in.
But he is going to the places where it's the lowest hanging fruit.
A superintendent of the largest school district in the state is low-hanging fruit? What's high-hanging fruit? Pitney? Lady, can you go back to the eyeglass boutique and find something goofier looking? Those glasses don't look goofy enough. Also, could you place stuff around the room that isn't Black Power themed? You have here, she believed she could, so she did. What does that do for you? Does that wall emit powerful rays that instill courage and gumption into your soul? I mean, I'm Scottish, but you don't see pictures of, wait, let's try this. We got Scottish Highlanders here, and pretty badass soldiers, and how about a pic of James Clerk Maxwell? Gee, I feel morally and intellectually superior already. And one more thing. You're a bit too old to be rocking the sorority color scheme. Alpha Kappa Alpha? When did this become a thing?
And while we are able to hear about Ian in Iowa, and we saw this situation that was in New York, there are thousands of people who are actually just going about their day and are coming up missing.
Because they weren't supposed to be here in the first place.
Because this is their approach. This is their attack. We know this. I don't even understand why we are surprised. Yes, we need to use this to push back. Yes, we need to think about ways to be able to figure out ways to make sure we highlight all of this information.
Yeah, you do that. You push back on ICE arresting a man who was here illegally, lied about his academic background to earn top spots over more honest competitors, had 2 weapons charges against him, fled from the police. You push back on that. Make Ian Roberts your movement's horsed vessel.
But truth be told, I really do not believe anything is going to happen until the next election cycle and we change who's in place to make decisions and make laws that could make sure that we keep our people safe.
Our people? Who's our people? I used to think that referred to Americans. To her and her ilk, our people seems to refer to everyone but Americans. Like those Americans who competed against an illegal alien for coveted administrator positions but got jilted because they had the audacity to be truthful about the degrees they earned. If you think I'm being harsh, don't kid yourself. She absolutely thinks that Ian Roberts, a person who is here illegally, should get the nod over American citizens for jobs like superintendent of schools.
Oh, there's no doubt. I mean, listen, this is what they want to do. This is what they want to see. They absolutely are buying into this. This was the statement. ICE released a statement. This is what they said. During a targeted enforcement operation on September 26, 2025, officers approached Roberts in his vehicle about identifying himself, but he sped away.
This dude is like, what?
Officers later discovered his vehicle abandoned near a wooded area. State Patrol assisted in locating the subject, and he was taken into ICE custody. Roberts has existing weapons possession charges from February 5th, 2020.
This lady, who you know pounds the anti-gun mantra, is weapons charges? Oh, so what? Whatever. Watch it again.
Weapons possession charges from February 5th, 2020. Roberts entered the United States in 1999 on a student visa and was given a final order of removal by an immigration judge in May of 2024.
She's thinking, okay,
May 2024. That comes before January 2025. Who was the president? Was it Trump? It had to be. Wait, January 2025 was the inauguration. This was before that.
And she's probably still trying to figure it out.
Investigation into how Roberts acquired the handgun is being turned over to the ATF. It is a violation of federal law for those in the United States without legal status to possess a firearm and ammunition.
And once again, watch her expression.
Gun is being turned over to the ATF. It is a violation of federal law for those in the United States without legal status to possess a firearm and ammunition.
Gun charges? I don't see that being all that serious. Unlike the others, this guy has at least 2 working brain cells, and he's managed to figure out that all is not well in outrage land. We'll see how he extricates himself from this one.
As I said, he was the superintendent of schools in Des Moines, Iowa. Matt?
The thing I am a little perplexed by, though, is one, if those charges are allegedly from 2024, then that's obviously the prior administration. And what I'd be interested in knowing is how the Des Moines public schools, one, didn't have a contingency plan for this, or, how he was basically in that job if those things are true. That's definitely not to cast aspersions on him.
Well, why not? He broke the law. He cheated his way to the top. And contingency plan? What kind of contingency plan is going to prepare a school district for the time when its superintendent is arrested by federal officers for immigration and gun crimes?
But, Des Moines, I just looked it up. Their certified enrollment this year is 30,000 students. So, how you could have a superintendent who is in a status where there's a question about whether he's going to be enforced is a concerning thing. And I wonder, as this goes on, what we're going to learn about why, he was being targeted.
He was targeted for the same reason most criminals are targeted by the law. He broke the law. And notice how the blame gets shifted here from Biden to ICE. Biden was the one that declared him a fugitive from the law, but ICE is the one that had the audacity to target him.
And what those charges came from. And that's to give him the benefit of the doubt. I mean, everybody should be presumed innocent. However, I think the larger point that Drew was speaking to is, the idea that Trump very often says things that we know are just patently false. And the rhetoric around rounding up immigrants has been, we're going to get these criminals. But I mean, if you're the PhD, the superintendent of a school district with 30,000 students, you are, at least presumed not to be a criminal.
Presumed not to be a criminal. Gee, you sound like someone who was on the hiring committee. They used that logic too. As for the fact that he didn't really have a PhD, well, he said he had one.
So I don't know how that happens, and I don't know how, if you are MAGA, how you jibe with what is being said, but what is true, and that is that they're rounding up people who are not known to be criminals, which is in direct contravention of what they're saying.
I don't know about that. Sounds like Ian Roberts was, in fact, a criminal. Believe me, it's not MAGA struggling to make this news jibe with their beliefs. No, I think it's those who yelled into their megaphones that illegal aliens cannot vote, and illegal aliens are only taking jobs that Americans don't want to do, and guns are evil. Those are the people who are struggling to prop up their political worldviews, not MAGA. And no, I'm not MAGA, but I'd certainly rather be in MAGA's shoes when digesting this news from Iowa.
But beyond that, I mean, I am interested in knowing more, because if there was an order of removal from last year, I think, we have to be truthful about the fact that did not emanate from this administration. And I'm interested in the information around that, because I think that context is important.
I hope you're not planning on being on Roland's show in the future.
Yeah, Roland, I wasn't familiar with this case here. So we'll see how this turns out. It sounds like he was doing a good job.
Well, if by that you mean playing school districts like a fiddle and raking in tons of cash, then yeah, he did a fantastic job. It takes some real doing to rise up to the level of superintendent in a large school district when you're not even eligible to work. Ian should write a book, How to Fool All Stupid Americans All the Time. And we Americans are truly stupid. No other country would allow this to happen. Okay, probably England and Australia.
Here he came in on a student visa. We do know that overstaying visas is a big problem as well, but there's a difference between coming in to the country illegally and coming in on a student visa and overstaying the visa. That happens a lot.
Armed robbery happens a lot. This guy didn't overstay his visa by a few months. He planned to remain here permanently, and while here he stole top-paying jobs from Americans. So quite frankly, the Mexican who swims the Rio Grande, picks up a job picking apples, and works hard to feed his family ranks far, far lower on my criminality scale than Ian Roberts, who I think is just a low-down piece of shit.
Okay, but they did come in legally. So we'll see how this plays out. Hopefully it turns out the best for him.
Why? Who cares? Ship his ass back to Guyana or throw him in prison. Either one suits me just fine. Why should we care what's best for him?
But you hope that he gets some type of the benefit of the doubt, or there's some other details that we don't know about.
Oh, there are plenty of details that have come out over the past few days. Tons of details
that are in his favor.
Oh, those kind of details. Sorry, I haven't heard too many of those type of details. In fact, I'm amazed at how so little that has come out favors him. I'll give it up to Roland on one count. He hasn't pulled this video down. But then again, I'm not sure shame and embarrassment are in his wheelhouse. Like my video and subscribe to my channel.